Manchester United are very much working and doing the groundwork on a deal for Mbeumo, but it won't be easy. We also know Ruben Amorim's dream target is Victor Gyokeres. He doesn't seem to be going to Arsenal. They seem to be going for Sesko. Is there a boost there? Have Manchester United got a chance of leading their dream two targets that apparently are 50 and 55 million pounds each? 105 million for Mbeumo and Gyokeres is, I think, a bargain of a deal if we can get that done and over the line. But to help us do that, we need a few sales. And interestingly, Sancho to Chelsea, what is the latest on that? What is the negotiations? Chelsea are ready to buy Sancho, but Sancho has to agree to it. And considering how much he wants out of Manchester United, surely he agrees to it. Garnacho, what is the latest on him? His exit, there's a lot of interest in him, including from Chelsea. We'll talk about Mbeumo. We'll talk about updates on Dibling. We're going to talk about the latest on Bruno Fernandes. The decision should come soon. But I want to start with news unrelated to Man United, and I'm only going to spend 30 seconds on that. Ait Nouri. City are pursuing a deal to sign Ait Nouri from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Agreement still needs to be reached, but all parties expect the move to happen from Ornstein, blah, 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 blah. And you might be saying, Alice, why are you talking about this? It has nothing to do with Manchester United. It's got to do with Manchester City. I know, but I wanted Ait Nouri. I said the other week, I still think we need another wing-back. I still do, because I think Mazraoui is best at right centre-back. Dorgu, for me, is our left wing-back. Delo and Amad are our right wing backs. Mazraoui's a centre back for me. We've lost Lindelof. Mazraoui's going in there. You know, we need centre back depth. I think because Dorgu can play right wing back, we need another left wing back. Amas is good, he's young. Diego Leon, good young, but we don't know enough about them. Gyokeres, Ait Nouri. The funds are there. Which obviously, look, I'm not saying that we should go for a left back now, left wing back, sorry. Obviously, we need a striker, a 10, and a centre mid before we look at any other position. You could argue goalkeeper is more important than wing back. But wing back is incredibly important for Ruben Amorim's system. And Gyokeres to Liverpool, Ait Nouri to City, two of my favourite options, two players I want us to sign. I'm not best happy about that. But anyway, let's actually get into the Man United news. Chelsea remain in contact with Jadon Sancho's camp over contract terms. Still no agreement on salary so far. If contract terms can't be agreed, Sancho will go back to United with 5 million compensation. If Jadon Sancho says no to this, then he is generally like the greediest footballer ever. He doesn't want Man United. He said, there's no way I'm going back to Manchester United. The talk he's given about Man United, if he goes back, he looks like an absolute knob. You know, all he's got to do is accept a wage cut and he's out of Manchester United. All you've got to do, mate, is you've got to accept a wage cut. Now, that is a bit of a wage cut. You'd be on 200k a week at United. Chelsea are probably offering you 120k a week. But if you leave Manchester United on a permanent, nobody's going to give you more money than what Chelsea are offering you. Unless you go to Saudi, you're not going to make the money you make at Man United at any other club if you leave Man United on permanent. So you've got two options. You can either be an absolute see you next Tuesday, go back to United and demand another loan where United pay half your wages and we loan you out again, which probably doesn't further your career, but at least it means you still make your money, or you accept the wage cut because you know that Bayer Leverkusen, if they went for you, wouldn't give you that money, Dortmund wouldn't give you that kind of money, and you go to Chelsea, who are still offering you a nice amount of money because you get out of Man United and you want freedom so much. Because all this freedom talk for you to come back to Man United because you're happy to make a bit more money, even though you're not wanted there, would be silly when Chelsea actually want you, which does surprise some people. So for me, look, if it can't be agreed, then we get 5 million and Sancho's back. But if it can be agreed, and I expect it will be agreed, because it'd be really embarrassing for Sancho if it's not agreed, and it would literally expose him as a money grabber. I think Sancho will be gone. I think that will be 25 million. We should get another 10-ish million for Alvaro going to Madrid as well. And that gives us the funds to probably press ahead and hopefully get Mbeumo done or Gyokeres, but it's going to be harder than we think. So, on Victor Gyokeres. If Bruno Fernandes leaves, there's a definite chance of United moving for Victor Gyokeres, and that was said by Ben Jacobs. I don't know if Gyokeres wants to come to Manchester United, but what we do know is he's not said no to Man United. He just prefers UCL football, and he is Ruben Amorim's dream transfer. If Bruno goes, that's 120 plus million in pure profit, which allows United to spend over 300 million, which could allow us to do something like, okay, we'll go for Gyokeres, we'll go for Mbeumo. So that is the big question. The big question is, though, also, does Gyokeres want to come to Man United? I don't know. Interestingly, Romano has spoken about Gyokeres to Manchester United. Manchester United's dream target in attack is Gyokeres, but the deal is difficult without Champions League. After missing out on Delap, there are several options, and United will make a decision on their first target soon. So we've missed out on Delap. There's rumours of us going in for Sesko. I think that's BS. I think we have no interest in Sesko, and I think he's going to be linked to United to try and get Arsenal to hurry up, because teams will go, well, Man United are willing to pay this for Sesko, and Arsenal might panic and believe that because we spent 72 million on Højlund. Look, we're looking at a striker. The dream is Victor Gyokeres. Watch out for Atletico Madrid. Spain and England's where he wants to go. I'm not too worried about Juventus, but Atletico Madrid, that's the one that could worry me. Now Arsenal are out of the race, but we're looking at him, obviously. It was also said on Gyokeres that he will leave Sporting for 50 to 55 million package deal. Keep an eye. United and Arsenal are strongly interested. We now know Arsenal have chosen Sesko, but that is 50 to 55 million for Gyokeres and 50 to 55 million for Mbeumo. And Mbeumo and Gyokeres could cost 105 million pounds. What a bargain. What an absolute bargain. You could get Mbeumo and you could get Gyokeres for the same price as Enzo Fernandes. Bargain. So let's hope that we can get that done. But obviously, we need sales. We need the players to choose us. We don't have Champions League football. The Man United pool, as much as we got Cunha, but he's always loved Man United. The Man United pool isn't that strong at the moment. Gyokeres could easily choose Madrid over us. And of course, Mbeumo is well within his rights to choose Newcastle over us. And I wouldn't blame him if he did. So what is the latest on sales? Then we'll talk about Mbeumo. Then we'll talk about Dibling, Bruno, and other stories. Chelsea's next priority is a winger, with Garnacho one of the names under consideration. They would prefer to keep Sancho, but only if he agrees terms within the wage structure. I wouldn't be shocked if Chelsea moved for Garnacho. When we're hearing things like 40 million for Garnacho, which is the same amount that West Ham paid for Max Kilman, it's a joke. I don't care if you are Garnacho's biggest hater. I don't care if you think he's rubbish. United could get 60 million for Garnacho, maybe 50 because of the attitude issues. But if we're Manchester City or we're Liverpool, we're easily getting 60 million for Garnacho. And he would be a good signing at Chelsea. I know Chelsea fans don't want him and they turn their nose up at him. I think Garnacho is one of those players, when he leaves Man United, he's going to get the praise he deserves. I think he's frustrating. He annoys me. He misses big chances. But I honestly think that Garnacho is a very good talent and a very good player. And I think because we've come 15th, we've had a bad season, we've almost put a lot of it on Garnacho, who's been frustrating at times. But I think the last 2 months, he's been our best attacker. I'm going to be honest. I think he has. And I think there's too much hatred towards him because he does have the ego of Ronaldo. But I do think he's a decent player. Now, a player that I think is even better than Garnacho is Bryan Mbeumo, a player that I think would be perfect for our front line. Talks with Brentford for Mbeumo are progressing well. United's chances to sign the player are improving day by day, said the Muppeteers. It seems that United are actually working on this Mbeumo deal, doing a bit of groundwork, trying to do this, trying to do that on the Mbeumo deal. Look, I don't know if Mbeumo to Manchester United is going to happen. I still think he could choose Newcastle. But what I can tell you is United are clearly interested in Mbeumo. They're clearly doing some groundwork on the deal. Apparently, it's believed that personal terms won't be an issue. He's open to both Man United and Newcastle. UCL isn't a factor. It's about which project can convince him the most. We want to make another signing. Romano's even said that we like Mbeumo, but so do Newcastle, so do Arsenal. There'll be competition. We know from Mike Keegan we want to add Mbeumo. We know from The Guardian we want to add Mbeumo, but Newcastle won't make it easy. Sky Sports have said we have interest in Mbeumo. Some Newcastle sources suggest they are ahead of us in the race for Mbeumo as well. We clearly want Mbeumo. We have alternatives like Dibling, but he's not Mbeumo. And apparently United are very keen on Mbeumo, but there is that competition for Newcastle. Arsenal having a look at it as well. But you can't rule Man United out of it. United's plan now is to push for Mbeumo, apparently according to the Muppeteers, and hope we can convince him to join us. So look, we're doing the groundwork on this deal. Let's hope we can get some stuff done. So the big news we're probably waiting on is Bruno and his future. We're definitely going to know something in the next hours or days. Laurie Whitwell, who's probably one of the best United sources, has said that we're told Bruno's giving the Al Hilal offer serious consideration. Talks are going with his agent. Of course, his agent will push for the move because he'll get a big payout. Look, the fact that Bruno is taking this long to consider the move says to me he's probably going to leave, or it's swaying towards him leaving. But you never know. He loves Manchester United, but he's in the process of discussing it. Apparently, he's got to get his family to agree to move to Saudi. Some sources say his family are reluctant to do that. So you never know. He could stay at United. The family are happy in Manchester and they do love United. But this is £200 million. This is generational wealth. He's 31. And I think Ineos would happily accept 120 plus million for him. I don't think Amorim wants him going anywhere, but I think Ineos wouldn't mind him going. Last but not least, Tyler Dibling. Now, Tyler Dibling's been quiet for the last month or so. A player that we were linked to a little bit back before. I don't want Dibling. I would like Dibling if we got Mbeumo and Cunha. I'd like Dibling, but I don't want Dibling as an Mbeumo alternative. I think we need someone a bit more ready-made. Romano said in regards to Dibling to United, he's been linked with several clubs every week. All the top clubs like him, but there is nothing concrete. We have been linked to Dibling a lot. He's an Mbeumo alternative, but nothing's concrete. If Mbeumo goes to Newcastle, definitely one to watch. I do think Dibling would be a really good signing for Newcastle as well. But look, hopefully we get Mbeumo. Hopefully we could get Gyokeres, but that's the dream. We don't know if they want to come. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for watching. Bye.